All right, today we're going to talk about lesson 10. And lesson 10 is using linear equation problem solving. Okay, so you should have had a pre-test. So they wanted you to solve the following problems and show your work in the space below and fill in the bubble that represents the correct answer. So number one, a truck driver earns $64 plus 75 cents for each mile he travels on a trip. On his last trip, the truck driver earned $178. Which equation could be used to find M, the number of miles he drove on his last trip? So we know that the truck driver earned $64 plus 75 cents per mile. So M is going to represent our miles. Okay, so I have an M in each one of these. 64 is the base price. That's where he starts at. Doesn't matter how many miles he drives. If he drives 0 miles, he earns $64. So I'm going to add 64, which means that I can eliminate D, C, and B. So my answer has to be A. On number two, at the theater, Fred purchased X popcorns and Y drinks. He spent a total of $26. The equation below describes the relationship between the number of popcorns and the number of drinks purchased. 4x plus 3y equals 26. The ordered pair 5, 2 represents the solution of the equation. What does the solution 5, 2 represent? I know that X represents popcorns and Y represents drinks. So that means that 4 times 5 is 20. So he bought 5 popcorns for $4 each. And then he bought 2 drinks at $3 each. So we know that popcorns are going to cost $4. So he purchased 5 popcorns and 2 drinks, so letter B. Because $5 doesn't make sense because we had 4x, the 4 is representing the money. All right, so basically the idea behind this is there's 4 steps. You should read the entire problem carefully. We talked about following directions, okay? Step number 2, list, highlight, or underline the important information and variables that pertain to what is being asked. 3, write an equation that represents the situation. And 4, solve the equation and check your work. Be sure that you addressed what was being asked and use the proper units in your answers, okay? So make sure that you're using the proper units with your answers. Okay. So writing linear equations. In example 1, the local amusement park charges a flat rate of $50 for each birthday party, plus an additional $10 per child that attends the party. Write an equation that represents the total cost C based upon the number of children N that attend the party. So to write the equation, I first have to identify the key information of the problem. Since the park charges a one-time fee of $50 and $10 per child, the linear equation that represents the situation should be C, the total cost, equals 10, which is the cost per child, times N, which is the number of children, plus 50. The number of children attending the party, N, is multiplied by the price per child, $10, and the flat rate of $50 is only paid once, therefore the equation is correct. All right, so let's look at example number 2. Jim's Automotive removes dents from cars. He charges a one-time fee of $95 plus $20 for each dent, D, he removes. The equation below represents the situation. C equals 20D plus 95. Okay, so he charges a one-time fee of $95 and then $20 for each dent. How much should Jim charge C, a client, for removing 6 dents? Okay, so D represents the number of dents, and we know that there are 6 dents removed. So I substitute 6 into the equation for D. Since C represents the total charge, this is the value that we're finding. According to the problem, the number of dents represented by D is 6. Therefore, when substituting 6 in for D into the equation, we get C equals 20 times 6 plus 95. 20 times 6 is 120. So C equals 120 plus 95, or C equals 215. So therefore, Jim should charge $215 for this service. Understanding solutions. So example 2, at the ballpark, Joanne purchased X pretzels and Y large drinks. She spent a total of $16. The equation below describes the relationship between the number of pretzels and the number of large drinks purchased. 2x plus 3y equals 16. The ordered pair 2, 4 is a solution of the equation. So x is 2 and y is 4. What does the solution 2, 4 represent? So according to the word problem, we don't know the quantity of pretzels and drinks, but we do know how much the pretzels cost and how much the drinks cost. However, the word problem explains that Joanne purchased X pretzels and Y large drinks, which means that X represents the number of pretzels that she purchased and Y represents the number of large drinks that she purchased. We can also note that although the cost of the items are not included in the word problem, the equation tells us that the pretzels cost $2 and a large drink costs $3. We know that she spent a total of $16. So that means that this ordered pair, the solution 2, 4, she bought 2 pretzels and 4 large drinks. Please go ahead and complete the exercises below.